What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Got a little solo show for you today. Everybody's busy, so it's just me and you. Um, so, with that said, we're going to do a little bit of Wednesday wisdom. And it's a topic that I'm pretty passionate about. I'll give you some of my history. So, I was pretty motivated, pretty self motivated, especially when it came to sports. I loved sports. So, I wanted to do everything physical. Every sport I played, I wanted to be a professional athlete, right? Starting from 10 years old. I think at the time I was playing soccer and skateboarding. Not skateboarding, skating. And wanted to be a professional at both. Then eventually found basketball and, yeah, shot thousands of shots every day. Snuck into the gym when I wasn't supposed to be at school. All kinds of stuff with the single focus on wanting to be a professional basketball player, a professional athlete. And so with that, I didn't know where that motivation and where that drive came from, and it led me on a road of studying psychology. I studied at school, and then I did a bachelor's degree and I did a master's degree in psychology. And during my time on the semi-professional basketball circuit, I did some odd jobs in psychology. And I got to see the side where people had no motivation and a lack of motivation. And it fascinated me. I was trying to help, but I only knew, especially being young, how to drive forward. I only knew the good side of motivation. I didn't really understand the lack of motivation. So I wasn't very good at my job. Then I found uh, functional fitness and group training. And I saw the impact that could have on people. And I realized that I could keep people well and be on the other side of that and connect people together, get people moving. And by getting people moving, could have a bigger impact on their motivation and their mental health. And that's what I've been doing for the past 15 years now, 10 years running my own gym. And there's a lot of psychology in what we do. I'm still fascinated by psychology, right? At the heart of our values are wanting people to be self-motivated and self-determined. And we build that into our programs, right? We want you to have autonomy over how you work out. We want every day you come in to get some kind of competence. That's why we test, retest, we give you your results, we show you how good you are because we know how important that competence is, and feeling competent at something and seeing yourself growing is. And then we want you to relate to other people. We want you to feel that sense of relatedness, right? All them three factors are so important in you finding self-motivation to come to the gym, and it not always be somebody having to make sure you're there. We want you to grow as an athlete to a point where you always want to be there because you know that it's something that makes you better as a person. And that's why I love OXFIT. That's why I love the fitness industry. That's why I love our gyms. That's why we get up every day as a team and we just want to keep making it better because we know the impact we can have by keeping people healthy. And I've seen the other side of when you stop moving and when you don't have motivation and when you get stuck in that depressed state of mind that it's very difficult to get people out. So we want to keep people well. I think by what we do, we can save lives. And my whole team believe that. My whole team know that by connecting people, showing them how good they are, and then giving them autonomy over the level and their goals and what they want to achieve, and not just putting our goals onto people, that we can save lives. And that's what we're passionate about. And if you come into our gyms, you can tell that's what we're passionate about. At least I hope you can. So over the past few years of working in this, 10 years now, it's me and my wife and our family, we've put our heart and soul into the business, right? And with that comes ups and downs. And navigating the personal growth has been the one thing that I've been striving for and wanting to pass on to other people. So This Wednesday wisdom is just going to be something I'm passionate about. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And maybe you've been studying some of these things, but looking back to ancient wisdom has been something that I've found a lot of help being a business owner, being a parent, and just being a friend and a coach and a teacher to other people. And it's really helped me, and I hope some of this stuff might help you. So I'm gonna go through 3 ancient tools to help keep you motivated, or things that might help motivate you over the next few months and years. And I'll start off Stoicism. I just got this book from one of my friends, and it's called The Daily Dad. I've only been a dad for 4 years, so I'm not going to start dishing out parenting advice. But every day, it's Ryan Holiday. Every day there's a Stoic passage in here for you as a parent. So this might be a little boring, but I'm going to read this first passage to you. So it's about helicopter parents. So a helicopter parent, I'm not a very good reader, but stay with me. A helicopter parent hovers. They refuse to let their kid out of their sight. They follow them on the playground so they never fall down. They don't let them ride their bike to a friend's house so they never get lost. They make all their kids' decisions. They check in on them constantly with their teachers to make sure everything is according to plan, their plan. A snowplow parent doesn't hover. They drive out in front of their kid, clearing the road of every conceivable impediment and obstacle between adolescence and retirement. Their kids, not their own. Coach doesn't think their kid's good enough to be the star player. They'll start their own team. College applications, they've got it handled, even if it means bending the rules or breaking the law. At great pain and expense, their kid will never stumble, struggle, or be rejected. Needless to say, neither of these approaches is likely to produce what every good parent wants: self-sufficient, happy, and well-adjusted children. Even though many helicopter and snowplow parents come from a good place, they love their kids so much that they want nothing but the best for them. They're actually doing harm. Your job is to be there for your kid, not to be their everything. Your job is to teach your kid, not to prevent them from ever falling or failing. Yes, you have to keep them safe, but not at the cost of keeping them sheltered, not at the expense of life itself. Helicopter and snowplow parents. And I think only just being a parent, I realized that I can do a little bit of both. And I want my kids to live. And I've been a coach for now coming up on 15 years. And I don't want to be a helicopter coach, and I don't want to be a snowplow coach, right? I don't want to keep my clients safe. I don't want to keep my clients from experiencing life. I do want to keep you safe. I'd love to put up guardrails that help you be your best. But what I don't want to do is be everything as your coach. And I don't want the gym to be everything. I don't want fitness to be everything. I work with a lot of business clients now too. And when I was first started coaching, I used to smother people, right? I used to think that I could have so much motivation that they wouldn't need it anymore. I could just be that motivation for them. But then you slowly realize that you want to lead people to water, but you can't make them drink, and you shouldn't force their head into the water, which is what a lot of coaches want to do, because they've told you their goals and you believe them and you want it for them, but you've got to let them keep making the steps, right? And I think that's something that is very difficult when you're a new coach. And I have a lot of businesses that send me these fantastic business plans and they want me to help, and I want to help and I want to work with them. And I send them a bunch of steps. They don't do it. I let it go. I keep moving forward, but they've never took them steps forward. Everybody's got a dream and everybody's got a goal, but are you going to wake up at 6 a.m. and make it happen? That all comes down to your mental growth, right? And your ability to take them first steps. So we're going to start with mental growth. And for me, like I said, I've always been fascinated with psychology and in some ways philosophy, but only when I found Stoicism did I really jump into it. And there's a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche that says the only reason to study philosophy is to become a better person. Anything else is just a critique of words. And for me, that applies to just studying in general, right? Like, I don't want to learn random facts. I want to know how that's going to make me better today, right? And that's the way our workouts work. Every workout that we do has an answer to how that's going to make you stronger, fitter, more ripped, look better. You shouldn't just be doing random workouts and then be like, well, why am I not getting the results that I want? Right? If you're going to start reading and you're going to start spending time studying, the only reason you should do that is to become better. Everything you do, you should want to have a focus on becoming better. And it's ancient wisdom. Seneca said there is no other purpose to reading or studying if not to live a happy life. So you should want to be doing things that are getting you better, stronger, fitter, giving you more wisdom, right? If you just sit down every day and when you get home and you watch Netflix, if you get up every day and you just start scrolling Instagram, are you getting better, right? What is your mental growth on a daily basis? What have you learned every day? It's a good thing about the daily diet is like it's one passage and it just gives me something that I can focus on for that day, right? And then there's a lot of books like that, but me personally, I don't want to get up and just start reading a book that is nonfiction or fiction, I want it to just get me better, and I want to find a way that it's going to get me better. If I can't say why I'm doing that, or why I'm reading that, or why I'm studying that, if I don't have an answer for that, if I don't have a why for that, then am I growing? So question that with everything that you're doing. Question that with your training. Question that with your studying. Question that with your business if you start a business. Question that with your job. Is your job getting you better? Are you growing every day in that job? Or are you just showing up every day and not getting better, not growing? And if you're not, it's time to make a change, right? It's time to find something that motivates you. So that's mental growth, right? Do you have a checklist every day of how you're growing? Next, let's talk about emotional growth. So this is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And one of my members gave me this, Cedric, over in East Atlanta. And every day, me and Cedric say to each other when we leave the gym and when he's finished the class, we say, "You're going to die." And it sounds like one of the most negative things you could say to somebody, right? But one of the great Stoics, and I'm sorry, I can't quote him, said, the only people that fear death are people that are not truly living. And so if you truly live today, then there's no fear of death. And you are going to die is one of the most motivating things that you can think about every day, that you can tell somebody every day. Because you only have today. You only have what's right in front of you the next few hours. You don't know what's going to happen. Soon you'll be dead, gone. Nobody will care, right? They'll care for a couple of days, maybe a week. So that means that big idea that you're thinking about, that big race that you want to run, whatever it is that you are passionate about, you've got to go and do it. And you've got to go and do it today, because you only have today and you only have this year, and you just don't know what's around the corner. So the fact that you're going to die is one of the most motivating and positive things that you can think about when you wake up every day. So is this where I wanted to start? No, it's not. Book 2, section 1. So Meditations, it comes out hot, right? And it's about emotional growth. So it's a very short passage, and I apologize for my lack of reading ability. But when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized the wrongdoer as the nature related to my own. Not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in the ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To fear anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. Emotional growth. So just like with waking up every day and saying you're going to die, waking up every morning, like Marcus Aurelius says, and acknowledging that people are going to be rude to you today. People are going to be ugly today. People are going to do things that you don't like today. The thing that you are in control of is understanding that them people are just like you. You've probably done all them things. The person that's yelling at you in traffic, probably yelled at someone in traffic. The person that's, pushed in front of you in line, you've probably pushed in front of someone in line. The person that's just having a bad day and just being rude, it's probably being you. So accepting all them things and understanding that whatever emotions you take from that, you're responsible for that. So how you react to everything that happens to you on a daily basis, you're in control of. And that's one thing that I've learned from running a business for the last coming up on 10 years is you're going to put your heart and soul into it every single day. And somebody is going to 1-star review you. Someone's going to 1-star review your business. Somebody at work today, you're going to put your heart and soul into a project. Somebody's going to 1-star you, right? Does that mean that you don't do anything? Does that mean that you don't open the business? Does that mean that you don't put your heart and soul into it the next day? No, because there's going to be somebody that 5-star reviews you. There's going to be somebody that loves what you do. There's going to be someone that sees the passion that you put into it. You're going to work your hardest for one of your clients and they're going to cancel. And they're not even going to say thank you for everything that you've done. But you've probably done that, right? My son goes to a jiu-jitsu studio and we can't make it on Tuesdays and Thursdays now. I just haven't had a chance to adjust my schedule to make it happen. So I canceled his jiu-jitsu membership, right? And it's my fault. The jiu-jitsu studio is awesome. It's clean. The coaches are good. The instruction's great. They give out great gifts. And my response was, hey, we can't make it. Please cancel my membership. I, as a young business owner, would have reacted to that. How could you? I'm working so hard every day. I've got a lease and a mortgage and a wife. How could you cancel? And then you realize, like, hey, I'm in control of my emotions. Go and just keep doing your best and being great. And don't let other people affect how you react today. It's the only thing you're in control of. Literally the only thing you can control is how you respond and you react to situations, right? And how would you want someone to respond to you is the key to this whole growth. And I love that passage, right? Especially if you start the day off with that. It seems just like with you're gonna die, it seems so negative that people are gonna be rude and mean and cruel and nasty to you today. But that's their stuff that they're dealing with. It's nothing to do with you. You're doing your best. You know you're doing your best. So how you respond to it is the only thing that matters. And you want to respond and you don't want to turn your back on people because you can give them a chance to grow too in all of this. And just like with that jiu-jitsu studio, they turn back. They email back to me. We completely understand. We'll take care of it. And it was professional. So meditations, Marcus Aurelius. That's where to start with this stuff because it's awesome. And then a more modern version of that I've been working through and we've been doing in Book Club is the Soul Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And this is their journal, which I'll just start it from the front because it's basically what I was just talking about. And Mark Manson says, throughout my life, I've given a fuck about many things, and I've not given a fuck about many things. And it's the fucks not given that have made all the difference. So you're going to wake up every day and you're going to decide what you give a fuck about. Because you can't give a fuck about everything. If you do, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to be motivated. And it's all about that emotional growth and acknowledging when there's things that you are getting emotional about that you shouldn't. And you're going to be pretty hard on yourself for a while because it takes a long time to not be emotional about things that trigger you. And for me, like, yeah, 10 years of working and putting our heart into something, it's going to trigger you for a second when you work all weekend, put on events, and then somebody complains. What are you going to do? You're going to put yourself in your shoes and be like, I didn't have to put on all them events. I didn't have to go out of my way to do all that. We could have just had a regular gym. No, because it's not why we did it in the first place. So you'll put yourself in their shoes. You'll say, this is how they felt. And it's valid. I don't react emotionally. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to keep doing what we are passionate about and what we feel great about. And hopefully do the right thing. And hopefully we are doing the right thing. And you can't care about everything. And you can't care about everybody. You've got to just do what you think is right. So the last part of this is your physical growth, right? And I'm going to go back to meditations again because it starts at such a great point and such a great point for this time of year. And it's book 5, section 1 of meditations. He says, and he's having a conversation with himself, which is the great thing about this book is that it wasn't intended to be a book. It was just Marcus Aurelius. It was his journal. And he was the emperor of Rome. And this is how he's talking to himself. And it's just great to get such an insight into this. So at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do, or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? And then he asks himself a question, which I think is the best point. So you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, the spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can, and you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? You don't love yourself enough, or you love your nature too, and what it demands of you. You were born to feel nice. You were born to huddle under the blankets and stay warm. If that's not the single most motivating thing that you hear today, I didn't write it. But a great emperor 2,000 years ago was struggling to get out of the blankets. But he knew that his human nature demanded that he got up and did the shit that he was passionate about. Demanded it. Why does it demand it? Because it's the path to happiness, right? My favorite thing about this country is that you can go and pursue your dreams. The pursuit of them dreams is where I find the most joy. Over the past 10 years, it's been the hardest 10 years of my life. Hardest 10 years of my life. Pandemic for 4 of them years. Most people think we're out of it. Most small business is not out of it. But in that, there's been so much joy and so many lessons and so much greatness that if I huddled under the covers and never signed that lease and never opened that business and never went for my goals and never did that triathlon, never did them 3 marathons, never signed up for DEKA, never introduced DEKA into the gym, then I don't even know what I'd be doing. I know I wouldn't be happy. I might have a little bit more money, but I sure as hell wouldn't be happy. You were not made to be comfortable. You were not made to huddle into the blankets. You were meant to live. Just like you've got to let your kids live if you're a parent. You can't be a helicopter parent. You can't be a snowplow parent. You can't be a helicopter coach. You can't be a helicopter friend. You can't be a snowplow friend. You've just got to be there. You've just got to be there, right? And you've just got to do it. And you've got to be in the arena and you've got to go for it. Another thing that they said about physical fitness that I love is no man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It's a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. And that's Socrates. And that's, again, 2,000-year-old wisdom. You owe it to yourself to see what you're capable of physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All these things, you owe it to yourself. Every day you've got to get up and you've got to be on a mission, right? You have to follow this advice that comes from 2,000 years ago that is, you are responsible for this. You've got to study how to live a happier life. You've got to study how to become a better person. You've got to not let other people emotionally affect how you go through the day. And then finally, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to physically grow. You've got to lift a heavier weight than you lifted yesterday. You've got to run an extra mile than you ran last week. You've got to do a race that scares you more. You've got to open that business if it's constantly bugging you that you're not done. You've got to go for that promotion. And all them things, to me, start with you moving your body. That's why I will forever own a gym. It's why I'll forever be in this industry, because I know that you lifting a heavy weight, getting a PR on a pull-up, getting a PR on a squat, getting a PR on a workout, signing up for a DEKA will make you better. And I don't care what app, but if you, I think we talked about on a previous podcast or previous episode, you put a note in your pocket right now of what you want to be better at in the next 6 months. Could be completely unrelated to OXFIT. Then you show up at OXFIT 5 days, maybe 6 days, maybe 7 days a week with the run club. You show up and you do the workouts. Same time, same place, every day. In 6 months' time, you take that out of your pocket. Whatever that thing is, you'll be better at it. And that's why me and my team get up every day. And I just wanted to share this ancient wisdom that I'm constantly studying and trying to get better at. And it's not something that you just read once and then you do it, right? It's going to be days where you struggle to get out of bed. There's going to be days when you just scroll Netflix and you just are on your phone all day. Then there's going to be days when people trigger you. But being aware of them and trying to get better and being in the process and wanting to get better is where it all starts and where it all ends. So that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed this Wednesday wisdom. It's not easy to do these things on your own. This is pretty much my first or second solo episode. Just wanted to share something that I'm passionate about and something that's helped me over the last 10 years and something that I hope you get some value from. So have a good Wednesday. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment, like it, you know all the things to do. And if there's someone who you think needs to hear this, I'd love it if you send it to them. And I'd love to hear some feedback on it, positive or negative. All right. Have a good